Being in business can be really tough, especially in the early years. My guest today has got a business making biscuits. She's selling £250,000 worth of biscuits each and every single year. But she's dissatisfied. How can she take this business to the next level? And what she really wants is a part-time hours with a much bigger income. Is that a reality? Let's find out. Hello, campers. Welcome back to the Business Broadcast. We're speaking to a lady today that makes biscuits, JB.
She does. This is a space you know a little bit about, didn't you?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
This is your circle of influence. Lisa is from The Biscuit, which, by the way, if you're watching this only, then here you go. That's the box that she sent the biscuits in. If you're watching this, though, look at this. It is beautifully branded. And not only is it beautiful on the outside, apparently, according to Great Taste 2023 Awards, it's beautiful on the inside. We'll be doing a live unboxing because YouTube love all that stuff, don't they? And a live taste test. Award-winning entrepreneur James Sinclair nibbles a biscuit live on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. That's all to come in the pod.
I like the branding.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's lovely. Just as a quick synopsis, they've been trading about 3-ish years, I think. Estimated monthly revenue about 20 grand. There is 5 of them in the team, 2 co-founders and 4 of them. Well, that's actually 6 people, isn't it? They must have expanded to 6. 2 co-founders and 4 part-timers. Biggest challenge, getting in front of the right client / decision maker. Now, decision maker, that makes me think they're trying to go to a retail.
Yeah, or hotels.
Okay,
or
fair enough.
Leisure attractions.
So loads of places they could be going.
Tourist shops.
But they're not trying to go just B2B. B2C rather. Direct to consumer, D2C.
The direct to consumer world on this is difficult unless it's personalised gifting, which I think is an amazing organisation.
Opportunity.
That's a better word.
Their second biggest challenge is keeping up with competitors who can offer a cheaper price. We do not position ourselves as a luxury brand, but we do position ourselves as high quality brand to differentiate ourselves. And the third biggest challenge is a lack of clarity and focus on the difference that will make the difference. In Lisa's own words, I had a quick chat to her on the pre-chat chat. She said, we're ready to scale up now. We just don't know how. So I think that is where you potentially step in. Where do you want to be in 1 year's time? They want to have a regular income, repeat orders from customers in the hospitality industry. Oh, there you go. You were right. Bloody right. Turning over at least 30 grand per month, having at least 1 high-ticket live biscuit printing event per month. Oh, this is interesting.
I mean, what's a live biscuit printing?
Have you ever been to a live high-ticket biscuit printing event? You haven't lived. You haven't lived, Sinclair. I'll tell you what, you'll never forget your first. You will never forget your first. What does your business...
Who sponsors that event? McVitie's?
Yeah, it must be, mustn't it? What the hell is that? I can't wait to find out. We should be doing this at Business Masterclass. Oh, by the time this comes out, you've already missed it. We didn't do it at Business Masterclass. What a missed opportunity. Buy tickets for 2025, though. Maybe you can find out about biscuit printing live there. What does a business look like when it's finished? Supply 100+ hotels with monthly orders. Be known for a unique world-class event service that has a positive ROI for our clients. Continue to bake high-quality branded biscuits for world-renowned brands and empower working mothers by normalising part-time work and inspiring others to offer for flexibility and for empathy. Do you make the profit that you want to make? If so, what is it? No. We currently have an 89% gross profit margin.
That's fantastic.
But only 15% net profit margin.
But let me tell you something that's going to happen here. As she grows this, the gross profit is going to go down and the net profit will go down. 15% net profit. There have been a lot of businesses that would go, yeah, I'd like a bit of that. But 15% £250,000 between 2 of you that run the business is not a lot of money.
It's not a lot of dough, is it? But it is more than the standard.
15% of £1 billion organisation. Yeah,
absolutely.
Take that all day long, wouldn't
you? What does she do day to day in the business with her time? Business development, marketing, being the face of the brand, connecting to the key stakeholders. And then she has got a bunch of questions that she would like to ask you.
So I've looked at the questions and the 3 challenges. I think we should do the questions first.
Yes, I was thinking exactly the same thing. But before we do that, hello, sorry.
I think we should open it when she's talking to us and taste it.
Oh, okay, fine.
Do you not think that's because then we can,
we can nibble as we natter.
Yeah, nibble as we natter.
Nibble as we natter.
Well, it's time. I think there's a knock on the door, JP.
What is the obsession with the knock on the door? Don't worry, Jim, I'll get it.
Oh, good. Who is it?
It's one of your 15 features.
Who's at the door? Tell us.
It's this one.
Interesting quote or fact. Interesting quote or fact. It's time for
the interesting quote of fact of the week.
Now, JB, Chud said, I think we should just have prices right or prices lower.
Yeah, do you want
or
to do it?
higher, or
The
interesting
conversation
facts
literally
quote
went
of
like
the
this.
week.
Do you want to do that feature, just do it one every other week? Jim went, no. And Chuds went, fair enough, it's your podcast. And that was the end of that conversation.
He doesn't agree, but now I know it's annoying him. I want to put in.
Yeah, fine.
Let's do interesting facts quote of the week. Are
We
you
are.
going fact or quote this week?
I'm going to go fact.
Okay, I'm going quote. Now, I heard Jimmy Carr say this, the stand-up comedian. I put it on my Instagram. A lot of people message me. People are jealous of what you have, but never jealous of how you got it.
I heard that. It's so
Mic
good,
drop.
isn't it?
What is it, Chad? Oh, I saw it.
Chris Williamson.
Oh,
He
maybe
said it on
Chud's-
Chris Williamson's podcast, didn't
If
he?
it was Jimmy Carr that said it, wasn't it? Fine. Yeah, but all right, Jimmy Carr.
Second-hand
said it.
information, third-hand
Yeah,
information.
yeah.
Jimmy Carr said it. He said it's
I
Chris Williamson.
saw
Chris
it. No,
Williamson
no.
put it out on Chud's heard it. Chud sent it to
Oh,
you.
okay, yeah.
And now another 100,000
Well,
people have
Chud's
heard
told
it.
me, Chris Williamson told me, but Jimmy Carr said it. So not only does he do comedy, but what a beautiful collection of words.
He has become, I've heard him on Diary of a CEO,
Oh, my
Chris
God,
Williamson. He's a very, very bright man and actually
He
quite
was a-
motivational and inspirational.
Yeah, he was. There's this trigonometry podcast that's quite big. Have you heard of that?
No.
Two guys do it. They
No.
have politicians on and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Big UK podcast, but on YouTube.
Right.
I don't know if it's on the pod platforms, but he was on there. He was fantastic.
He's a very, very smart guy.
He's doing the podcast rounds. Obviously, he's likes doing this sort of space. Been on Joe Rogan, hasn't he?
He has. But I think, do you know why? Because podcasting is a direct call to action medium, unlike any others.
Okay.
My,
So what did you think of my quote then? Did you
I thought it
like
was very good.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Well, it's
very
not
good.
mine, Jimmy Carr's. You like
Jimmy
it?
Carr, well, it's not yours. It's Chud's, isn't it? It's Chud's via Jimmy Carr. Yeah, I did like it. Do you want to...
That's for Jimmy Carr. Well done, Jimmy.
Well done, Jimmy. There's a round of applause from the roadcaster desk.
We're a big fan of Jimmy Carr in the office. In fact, 8 of the team in our office are going to see Jimmy Carr live. At the
8 out of
Swiss Pavilion in Southend.
Oh, are they?
At Chud's
Have you ever
Stone.
seen him live?
No.
Oh, he's absolutely brilliant. I've seen him about 3 times.
Have you?
Yeah, he's very, very good. He is so rude. It's unbelievable. The first time I saw him, I literally, the last joke, I was like, I can't believe he said that.
Yeah.
And then we went outside and Hayley got a bit giddy because he was doing like a sign-in. This is maybe before he was like a mega star. And Hayley's like, I want to go and say something. I said, what are you going to say? She went, I don't know. So she just hung around the bottom of the stairs. I was like, you just look like a weirdo now. And then she went up to him and she had like a Mac on. And he went, you look like a flasher. Got any clothes on under that? And she just went bright red. She went, yeah, I have. Ah. I was like, that was embarrassing for you, wasn't it?
So why was she wearing a computer?
Very good. Jimmy Carr's not the only comedian around here, is he? I've got a fact.
You got a fact.
And the
What
fact
is it?
ties into the conversation that we've just had actually about podcasts. Podcast advertising revenue, just about being in the right place at the right time. Podcast advertising revenue has gone up in the last 12 months by 22% across the board.
Wow.
22%.
That's massive.
It took from 2003 to 2022 to hit $1 billion in annual ads. And now I think it's going to do like 3 billion this year.
Wow.
22% increase year on year.
People love podcasts now, don't
Yes.
they? People,
More and more and more.
people get in the car
Yeah.
and choose to put a podcast on
Yeah.
more and more than putting the radio on.
Yeah. My little boy does now. If we're going on a long car journey, he goes, can we listen to Dinosaur George? Which is a brilliant podcast, by the way. Only if you like dinosaurs.
Wow. For
But-
children.
For children.
Yeah.
But it's actually really, he's really funny. The guy's brilliant. He's one of them, like, he's got some jokes in there that only the adults are getting and the kids think it's funny too.
Well, there you go.
But yeah, 22% increase
That is
in
fascinating.
a year.
Chud's and Chud's sort of deals with all the people that want to sponsor our stuff. And when we say no to nearly all of them, don't we, Chud's? But more and more people ask us to do stuff, don't they?
Well, now I'm half involved in this. Can I not have a say in? Can I have a say in this?
No.
I'd love to turn a quid from
Yeah, 'cause
this.
yeah.
The only sponsorship we've got is from the Biscuit. Biscuit.com.
We're
Beautiful
very
biscuits made with
protective.
heart.
We're very protective over who we sort of get into bed with.
Oh, I'm not. I haul myself out to anyone.
Bloody tastic.
Right, are you happy with fact or quote of the week?
Yeah.
Right, now, just while we're doing live production conversation, how far into this podcast do you want us to get before we do the thing with the envelope? Because Chuds reckons that's the best bit of the show. We've got another, not this one, it's too confusing.
We've got another jingle. It's time for the nibble and natter of the week. Get another jingle
Do you
now.
want another jingle, quick. If you like to natter, would you also like to have a little nibble? I haven't got it. I need a bit of time in that one.
Well, before we do nibble and natter, should we get our guest on?
Yeah, let's do that. If she stuck around, imagine if a guest like this is just absolute nonsense and just left.
People like it.
Yeah, we reckon so.
Hey gang, we're going back to the pod in just a moment, but I wanted to tell you about Entrepreneurs University. This is a platform that I've created for entrepreneurs and business owners that are serious about growth. There's 100 video lessons from me on everything in business, raising finance, buying companies, property investment, and everything in between. Attached to each video is a downloadable PDF that goes into more detail about what we've learned in the video. It goes one step further than that because I've also put stuff that you won't get anywhere else onto Entrepreneurs University. The lessons go into way more detail, but not just that. You're going to get my business plans, my spreadsheets, and all the files that I use to drive the KPIs in my business. Just think about how powerful that could be for your business. And here's the good news. You can try Entrepreneurs University for free. 14-day free trial. After that, it will cost you just $49.99 a month. That's less than a pair of Nikes to grow the profitability in your business. There's a link in the video description, and I cannot wait to see you in Entrepreneurs University.
Anyway, let's get her on then. Lisa. Hello, Lisa. Lovely to have you with us. Are you still there? That's the main thing.
I am. Hi.
Hi there. Could you sound so nice as well. It makes us feel...
I realise we're up here on our tempo. Well,
Lisa, tell us about your biscuits. Okay, they're lovely. Right, tell us about the Biscuit, Lisa. Tell us about the origin story and where you guys are at as a company. And tell us in about like a 90-second elevator sales pitchy style while we nibble on one of your biscuits.
Oh, okay.
It's got a handwritten note inside it, Jimbo. Sorry, I've ruined it. Go on, you do that and he can have a look. Look at that.
Yeah.
Go on, Lisa, you go.
Hi, James.
Oh, no, sorry, he's going.
Sorry. Yeah.
Sorry, Lisa.
Sorry.
You go first and then Jimbo goes second. Christ,
but he's all excited now. I don't want to interrupt the moment.
No, go on, you go, Lisa.
Okay. So my co-founder Saskia and I met in a digital marketing agency about 2 years into moving to Leeds. She's from the Netherlands, I'm from Germany. We worked in a big international team, and then we had children and were a little bit disillusioned by the outlook of having an office job and children and no family support nearby. So we added another layer of stress and started baking and selling our bakes from home from a local farmers market. But because of our digital marketing background, we built a website and a social media presence. And within 1 year, Penguin Publishers reached out and asked if they could order logo biscuits from us. And that's when we realized that there's a huge market for logo biscuits. So with every inquiry that came in after that, we added to our portfolio and offering. And today we're doing 80% B2B, have worked with some of the biggest brands in the UK and worldwide. We're still only a team of 6. Most of us work part-time, so we have really integrated that ethos of part-time, flexible working into the business, and also the whole sustainability angle. So everything we do is really high quality, eco-friendly, and our whole purpose is to spread kindness in biscuit form and to make branded biscuits delicious.
Wow,
I love that. Great little sales pitch. Right, what's a local?
I think we should read the note first. Yes. So you sent us this beautiful note that said, "Hi James, thank you for the opportunity to discuss our business with you. We're excited to speak to you on Tuesday, and hope this little introduction to our brand made you smile. Best wishes, Lisa." And is it Saskia?
Saskia, yeah.
Yeah. JB, you go. You do
When
the honours of
words
opening.
aren't quite enough. That's a good strapline, isn't it? This actually goes on to talk about the one of the things you talk about. Like, if you're great at doing the thing, then don't just be an agency. Do the thing. So they really knew digital marketing, but then didn't just do digital marketing. Have actually made a great brand and then done the digital marketing for it.
Yes, the marketing, the quality is beautiful. JB's going to try and open it up so people can see on camera.
This is the grand reveal. The debut. Oh, look at this. My God, it really is a biscuit made with love.
Wow.
Oh, sorry.
Is that on
biscuit
camera,
with heart.
Chance? Or not really? Yeah. There we go. If you could try and do all
Oh, it's
wow.
got. Oh, look at this.
Oh, look at this.
Look at that.
Oh,
wow.
Let me just show.
Got to get a photo of this.
Got that
before.
in, Chance.
There's a Jimbo branded biscuit. Lisa, where is there another? Is there another layer where my biscuits are, Lisa? No, okay, just
Sorry.
been left. No, don't you worry,
Next.
love.
Next
Absolutely
one.
fine, yeah.
The Partyman
There won't
logo
there
on
won't be
there.
a next time. Let
Oh,
me
no,
assure you.
there's a love heart one. That's for you, JJ.
No, it's not. I'm not having that. That's just the generic brand. That's still nicer, isn't it?
Jimbo. Oh, that's
So cool. We've got to get a photo.
Can I try one? Is that
So eat it till he's got a photo of it. Chuds, get a photo of
yeah?
it.
Get a
quick,
photo. Let's get this on my.
And then you're going to eat your own face.
Hang on a sec. Can you just hold that there?
Oh my good God!
I wanna
Sorry,
try
it's a
and get
terrible
their
listening
branding in
experience.
here as well. There you go. You got that, Chad?
Please eat them too. There's more where they came from.
Oh, brilliant. Right. Well, look, I've got some experience in this because we do branded donuts and cookies, personalized cookies on our website. We sell quite a bit, probably not as much as you. We probably sell them more in our shops.
Just go eat one.
Do you know what's good about this business? Is there's no VAT, is there? Or is there?
They're really good.
No, there isn't.
Very nice.
Okay. Well, that's great. That's the first stage that I love about it. Yeah, delicious. Okay, let's I think we'll do your questions first of all. JB, do you want to ask the questions?
Too busy eating a biscuit.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Question number 1. How can we decrease our expenses?
Talk us through that, Lisa. What's the issue?
I mean, maybe it's just my lack of business experience, and all we need to do is increase our revenue and yeah. But I feel if you look at the 90% and then it goes down to 15, and we only have part-time employees and a fairly small production site, I'm just not quite sure why
Okay.
we're spending money on.
Let's go back to basics here, and the 3 KPI rule. There's 3 KPIs that I believe business owners should be looking at, whether you're running a £1 billion organisation or a £250,000 biscuit making organisation. KPI number 1 is average customer value. Get more excited about your average customer value than the size of your revenue. Do you know where your ACV is at the moment?
I would say roughly £400.
And that's because it's B2B people ordering, yeah?
Yeah, 80% is B2B.
I don't like you're saying roughly. I want you to know that exactly. That's the first piece of homework that you need to have. Because if it's £370, getting it to £400, there's a big load of profit in the difference between 370 and 400 because they're already an acquired customer.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is a monthly profit and loss. Do you produce a monthly profit and loss?
Historically, historically, most months were a loss, and then the Christmas months were a huge profit. But we've changed that round. So this year, most months have been profitable.
But do you print out the profit and loss and discuss it?
No.
Just be honest. You know, most people don't, but the people that do are always more profitable. It's the biggest hack in business. And if it winds you up and it annoys you because it's loss making, that's also good because it means that change will come quicker. And what's really important is on your monthly profit and loss, you have the year-to-date line. So say we're in the month, what are we in now? September. So we do, you know, on the 10th of the month, we do the previous month's profit and loss. So you have all of August's income and expenditure, and it will have a profit or a loss at the bottom. And then you want a year-to-date accumulative, but also compared to this time last year. So we have August 24, August 23, and then a year-to-date accumulative, yeah?
Yeah.
They will give you the black and white picture of what you need to change. Maybe it's too much staff. Maybe it's not enough gross profit, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes when gross profit's as high as yours, are you including staff in your gross profit?
No.
I think you do need to include the staff that make the stuff in your gross profit, not the people that run the business, because without those staff, I mean, so when we make ice cream in our bakery, all the staff that are making the product come before the GP.
Okay.
Which will crash your GP quite a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd probably bring your GP down to 35%, 40%, which is more realistic. So you, as the person that's growing the business and operating the business, you're not included in that because you're not making the product. So you're after gross profit. But anyone that's making the product and is absolutely to turnover, you're to turnover staff, it's really important that they're before the gross profit. So if you was running a supermarket, for example, the marketing team would not be turnover staff, but the people that are stacking the shelves and on the checkouts would be your to turnover staff, because without them, the shop couldn't take any money. Does that make sense?
Makes total sense, yeah.
But when you're in manufacturing of anything, anyone that makes the stuff must be before the gross profit. So we do that. And then number 3 is your labor to turnover ratio, because the biggest cost in most business walks on 2 legs, and we want to have a percentage that we're aiming for. Now, I use a spreadsheet that shows in my bakery how much product is made each day for the amount, and then you put in the staff hours, and then the cost of each product, and then what the retail value of each product is. And what you'll see is, well, maybe you won't. If you're making the same products, you should see a consistent amount each day. But what I found when I did this in my bakery is we had some days where we would make £7,000 worth of stuff. Some days we would make £2,000 worth of stuff on the same level of staffing.
Same for us, yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because certain stuff is more complicated.
Yeah,
takes
yeah.
longer.
And some, like that. I mean, one of the products that we had there was the Jamie Dodger, your version of it. There's more labour in that, and then
right.
I don't know if you have to prove stuff. I mean, this is all quite technical bakery stuff now, and you got I'm guessing because biscuit literally means twice cooked in French. Did you know that?
Does it? I did not know that.
Yeah, that's interesting fact to quote the week part 2 here.
Wow, there you go.
Bis is twice. I'm right there, aren't I, Lisa?
Yeah, no, you are.
If you twice cook all of your stuff, I mean, you don't know in bakery, like if you're doing stuff the day before to be decorated the next day, and how much labour goes into the decorating. And sometimes you might have to drop products because everyone loves making that product, but people are just not prepared to pay the price for it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so you know all this stuff. You're starting to think about it, but until you have it documented on paper, real problem. If this was my business, one of the things you said, where should we invest in your questions, is probably 15 to 20 hours a month into a good finance numbers FDE type person that will produce all these documents for you and sit round and start implementing board meetings so that you get the ump and go, this is naff. We're bringing in £250,000. We're actually doing a lot of hours work, a lot of stress, and not paying ourselves because the business is churning all the cash into growth and paying all the staff, and me and Saskia get nount for it. Does it feel like that at times?
At times, yeah.
Most businesses, by the way, I mean, JB knows loads of people that, this is anything that's 300,000, 250,000. It's really frustrating because I think when you start out and you might do £50,000 a year in sales, and the euphoria that you've just got a customer. We've got a customer. Yip, 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 yip. Hooray. Let's keep going. And then you start employing some part-time people and they suck up all your cash. And then you need to buy a bit of equipment, and then you've got to buy supplies, and you just, it's demoralizing, but very few can keep going, and that's why most fail. But
it's the danger of the middle. We talk about this all the time, don't we? If it was just Lisa and Saskia and 2 of them in their kitchen, they would probably be keeping hold of £50,000 each of it at the moment. And if you're doing, like 10 million quid's worth of sales, you're taking another nice lifestyle. There's just no in-between. The in-between is just the trough of sorrow, isn't it? What people call it. And you can see why, because it's that tricky middle bit, isn't it?
And difficult when you're both mummies, aren't you? And you both got kids.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a real challenge, that. I mean, that's a anyone that's a parent knows that's a full-time gig. So how can we decrease our expenses? You don't know what the expenses to decrease without the right data. Are you using Xero or QuickBooks or anything like that?
Xero, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Xero is fantastic. I'm quite angelic about Xero, but it's only as good as the bookkeeping and the data being managed within it.
Would you suggest getting sort of like a part-time FD then?
Not part-time,
who's got
like
food,
a fully qualified bookkeeper,
but like who's ideally got food experience, who can break down that
not
bit?
necessarily, just someone that is really good at knowing their numbers and knows what gross profit is. I mean, does that come one day if it got to a £2 million business? Yeah, but at this stage, some is better than none.
Yeah,
and I think we want, someone that's 60. 55 that's got 20, 30 years bookkeeping experience that knows gross profit inside and out and upside
really wants
down.
to help them grow.
Yeah.
Buys into it, believes what they're up to.
And said, look, and then you need to do a rag sheet, a red, amber, green sheet on every product you make that allows for. So when we make a product in our bakery or our ice cream, we put 40% on the cost of the ingredients and the cost of the staff on top for the overhead of running the business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think you need to do. So, if you say, right, well, a biscuit's ingredients are 30p, it's 20p on labour plus 40%, and that's for the overhead of the factory, then that gives you the real cost of making that product. And when people start businesses up to sort of $1 million of revenue, they never think about the 40%. They think about the staffing costs and the cost of the ingredients. And actually, utilities, running buildings, marketing campaigns, it's expensive. And it's only when you then get to, 200 million of revenue plus that you can start getting massive economies of scale, buying ingredients better, leveraging your marketing, et cetera, maybe not 200 million, but seriously more sizable. My experience of running businesses that in the food manufacturing world, I'm sorry to say this, I think you need to be doing 2.5 million of revenue before you start making decent income from it. It needs that level, or you scale it right back and you just, like JB says, it turns 150 grand, you have 50 grand each and you manage your own time. And it's got to be a big boutique business to start making lots of money.
That's a good number too, because sometimes I'm like, okay, what are we actually aiming for? So it's we started working with profit first, so we're trying to kind of figure out what money we'd like to take and then work it backwards, and that goes to
brilliant.
about.
Yeah, well, if you think about, I call it the PBA number. What's your personal bank account number? How much do you want in your personal bank account? Then reverse engineer the model. But
you got the rag sheet in Entrepreneurs University, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, if you go into Entrepreneurs University, or even just email Tracy, who arranged this podcast, and we'll send you some of my spreadsheets. But you've got to invest in a bookkeeper, accounts person before you pay yourself. Otherwise, you'll never pay yourself.
I mean, we've got an accountant, but we're probably not meeting him enough.
No, not an accountant.
And we are paying ourselves, but
not an accountant. I mean, an accountant should be planning your tax and stuff like this. In-house financial knowledge. And what do you pay your accountant? You pay them a lot of money. You're paying them, professional services fees. A good bookkeeper, £20 an hour. And it will be the best £20 or £22 an hour that you'll ever spend. And you're not, I'm sure, not paying an accountant £22 an hour.
No. Can I just say, so on the rag sheet, we've done a similar exercise a while ago, and we have an idea of which product is the most profitable and the most scalable. So say we know what our green product is. What do we do with that information then?
Well, sometimes cry because you think, our best seller is losing us money, or the ones that everyone likes loses us money, or it's really cheap to make, but then the labor costs are extremely high to put it together. But the thing is, once you've got that data, you have to look at it and, you have to tweak it. And, this is being a business owner is pretty much like being an engineer of an engine and constantly tweaking it to get it more efficient. You know, unless, and you're selling wholesale, so they'll always want, you know, a brilliant price.
No, we don't do wholesale.
I thought you was like to hotels and stuff like that.
So the hotel is a bit different in the sense it's still not wholesale. They're not selling them. They're handing them out to their VIP guests. So
Yeah,
all that happens there.
I mean, in my view, that is wholesale. I mean, it's B2B. You know, you're not selling in ones, are you? You're selling 200 a go to a hotel, sort of something like that.
Yeah, but there's no middleman, so we're not doing,
Fine.
you know, selling to someone to sell them on.
Fine,
So we're
yeah,
and also hotel is still a small part of it. What we like about it is the regularity and the repeat orders, the potentially repeat orders. But the bread and butter of the business is B2B orders for, you know, not hotels, but businesses who do events.
Yeah.
But there is repeat orders, but you can't. It's not a monthly thing. It's now, you know, once a year, maybe for Women's Day or Christmas or whatever it is. So we're working on something to get more of that repeat and monthly.
So rather than saying B2B wholesale, I mean B2B. Sorry for
okay.
But price will matter to them. I'm absolutely sure of it. You know, if it's too expensive, they won't do it. Because they're giving it away. They're not selling it on, are they?
Yeah.
And these are all the challenges. Have you know, when you started out, you used to do markets and people bought them from you at the markets?
Yeah.
Was that
they
profitable?
Weren't personalized them. No, no chance. No. You know, and pack them in little bags for people to take home. But what we had to charge, no one wanted to pay. You know, it was a few fans who just loved it. And that was it. So it was only when we started personalizing them and marketing them as gifts that we started to make a profit, because people pay more if it's a nice box and they're giving it to someone else for a special occasion.
Yeah. And you still do that?
Yeah. So we have a web shop where people can just check out birthday biscuits or anniversary, whatever it is. So that is mainly B2C.
And the B2C part, how different is the price? If I was buying a biscuit B2C compared to B2B, is it similar pricing?
It is similar pricing, yeah.
That's good. And what percentage of the business is B2C compared to B2B?
About 20.
And how much are you spending on pay-per-click to get your B2C customers?
We're not spending on pay-per-click for B2C because we don't think it's profitable enough. So we're just pushing B2B on Google.
Difficult.
And we're spending maybe, I think we've ramped it up to maybe £11 a day. So it's peanuts, really.
Yeah, I mean, on party pieces, we spend well in excess of £1,000 a day on PPC. We get a 2.6% ROAS. Do you know what that means?
Yeah.
So we break even pretty much on all of our sales, but the customer hopefully will return in the future. And then you can market to them. And party pieces will be similar to you. People only buy once or twice a year. You know, no one's going to buy a biscuit every week, personalised. And so I do think maybe you should look at that and maybe speak to a PPC agency to get their opinion. If this is my business, I would be spending a lot more than £11 a day on PPC, because I'd be thinking about lifetime value rather than just what value I'm getting now. And I would be adding more personalised gifting products to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do always wonder where the ceiling is with that, because we could just experiment, I suppose, and put a lot more money behind the ads and see what happens. But then we feel like that can't be all we do.
I mean, I hate to say, anyone that's doing e-commerce. I mean, I was the guy who's. Do you know My First Years? Have you heard of them?
Yes, I have actually.
He's quite prolific on LinkedIn, and he talks about how he runs my first years. He says anyone that's in e-commerce shouldn't expect to make money for 4 years. All of it should go into ad spend.
Wow,
Mhm.
really?
Wow.
And I think now I'm in it
You understand the validity of the comment?
because Google, you've got to spend on PPC if you're selling online. A shop is spending money on rent to be in the best position in the high street. Anyone doing e-com, you either get, an influencer marketing, going to influencers, but it's difficult. The other thing that lots of food people do very well is they have a shop that people come to in a prominent location. It's a coffee shop with biscuits, and it's like we do. Rossi, has a couple of shops, and that helps build the brand. But again, that's very difficult. This is not, we're not in an industry here, Lisa, that is easy. If you got to 2 million of revenue and you could keep it controlled, you and your business partner probably could help yourselves to 150 grand a year each, but you'll be working. This would never be, it's very difficult to make business a part-time gig. This should be, my experience is all consuming.
Mm. And what if we're in it to build a business we're really proud of and not to make 150K a year? What if we say 60 is enough for a good enough life, and we have something that we really enjoy doing, and we also have the afternoons with the kids?
Yeah, I think that then maybe if you the answer, God, it's difficult. The answer for that is I think it's very difficult, and maybe it's easier to work for someone if that's the life and desire that you want. And I think, being number 2 or 3 in a business, I just hate myself for saying this. I just, because I really want, very difficult this for me. I feel challenged here. Because I know that's what you so desperately want, but I find it very hard to come across the unicorns that have that. A business is like bringing up a child. You can't do it part-time. Now, you could be a hairdresser and do swapping time for money stuff to make that sort of money. But if you want to build a commercially profitable enterprise that works without you in it, there's going to have to be management in place to do your job. That's the challenge. And I think you're finding that, aren't you?
I think we're at that stage, like if we could free ourselves up a bit, if we had a salesperson and a marketing person, for example, so that Saskia and I aren't so in the business all day long, then life would be good. But it's paying for those people.
Well, and
it's another 50 grand's worth of salaries, isn't it? And you've got to do another 250, 300 grand to pay for those salaries.
Yeah.
My experience, good salespeople don't want to work for £250,000 revenue businesses. If they're a good salesperson, they want to go and work for multi-million-pound businesses where there is an abundance of leads and opportunities. And my experience is the sales and marketing person in a small business is the owner. That is where they should spend most of their time. All of the successful small businesses, medium-sized businesses and big business owners that JB and I know, and we know a lot of similar people, they're marketeers of their thing rather than doers of their thing.
So that's outbound sales, though, not like order processing and replying to inquiries. That's me going out to the companies
but they're out there knocking on doors. They're making 100 calls a day. They're driving up and down the country, getting a rejection, and then getting up, driving up and down the country, getting a rejection, and then they keep doing that. And then 1 in every 10 drive up and down the countries, they get a hilt and go, yeah, I'll order 1,000 cookies a day every day. And then they get a little break. And that's, every one of I think about Teddy Tastic, my children's arts and crafts business and teddy bear making business, 8 years in, 7 years in, it got its big break and got a really big customer that just exploded the business. It's difficult. It's very difficult running a micro business, wanting macro results without doing macro effort.
It doesn't feel as difficult as you portray it. Like we are doing all right, given the hours we put in and we're getting really good results from. So that's what I'm thinking. Like if we,
but you want
there
more,
must be a
don't
way
you,
to just.
Lisa?
I want more, but not at all costs. So, I'm not saying I want to have a 20 million turnover company. I just want to fill our gaps now in the schedule.
Yeah.
I want to make the. Sorry.
I'm not suggesting you to have a £20 million business. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people think, well, if I get this to 600,000, I could. So we're at 250,000, 300,000 now. I get it to 600,000. I will triple my income that I get out of the business. And all my experience says that very rarely happens. It's a bigger jump to get there because you'll find that the business needs more overheads to look after that. You'll start needing a full-time production manager. You'll need someone and that full-time production manager could probably look after 1.3 million of revenue, but you need them at 500,000 of revenue. Am I making sense there?
Yeah, totally.
It's the best analogy I can give is actually a restaurant, and I should remember to use this more. You open a restaurant, you pay the chef, the head chef to look after the restaurant, you pay the maitre d' to look after the front of house, and you've got 35 covers. I know you won't make money until you have 100 covers because that's when the economies of scale kick in. So anyone that has a small restaurant that has the best food, the best service, they really become a slave to their restaurant. If you think about good Indian restaurants and Chinese restaurants local to you, everyone's very thankful that they're there, or the local small independent coffee shop, but the owner is tied to it and a prison of that business. And we all love those businesses that are local to us. And you'll be thinking of them now, Lisa. It's only when they're that next size up that they can afford a manager to give them relief. And these are some of the things that I've discovered over the years with working with lots of businesses. And look, I might be wrong. I'm not, I don't know everything, but they are my experience. And that's why I look at a restaurant and go, there's just not enough covers in here for this to ever make money. It'll always just be a profitable job. And if it's a profitable job and you're all right with that, and there are a lot of independent restaurant owners that is their vocation, their life and their love, and they never want days off, then that's just fine. But if you want to be free and have time freedom, I think there is profit in economies of scale.
And you're talking in excess of 2.5 million, because you said it needs to be.
No, listen, it might be 1 million in your case, but you basically, the fun begins when you can implement E plus M equals S, where you've got entrepreneurship and management. It's two different types of role. You're the head teacher of a school at the moment, but you're also the teacher of that school. And the fun only becomes when you can have some money to employ teachers so that you can do the head teacher role in great capacity.
I mean, of those staff members, only 2 are production staff. The other, we have a production manager, and she obviously steps in to, for quality control and all of that. But she runs the day-to-day. Like, I'm not involved in processing orders or printing out labels. Like, I don't do that anymore. So we, those 4 people are not, so some of them do those roles.
Yeah, and that will expand as time goes on. But if your job should be growing the revenue, not operating the revenue. So you and Saskia should just, someone asks you what you do in the business, you should be saying, well, I go out there and get customers. That's how you accelerate it. But that can be exhausting as well. But it's relentless. You know about this, don't you, JB? Is making sure that you're always bringing enough cash is tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
And JB, we sit on opposite sides. So you run a much smaller business than me.
Yeah.
Probably around this sort of size, don't you? 300 grand a year?
Yes, it's exactly the same sort of size as this, yeah.
And paying yourself well for the effort you do, I think is tough, isn't it?
Yeah. I've taken a step back recently, like very recently. I've had to very sadly, I've had to let 5-6 of my team go, and I'm going to restart and rebuild again with me and one other person. That's the only way that it can actually make some money in the short term, because it was a case of 25 grand comes in and 25 grand goes out every single month. That's literally the reality of it.
And most of your staff earning more than you.
Every single one of them was, yeah. Every single one. And I've been at it, 4 years.
Because, I think when you're growing, the business, especially this, you'll always want another bit of equipment that will make it a bit easier, Lisa. And you always want backup equipment because things break. I sit around in our ice cream factory. They always want, and all this stuff it's not £100. You'll probably know this, don't you, Lisa? Anything that, as soon as it's wrapped in stainless steel or it's for catering, the ovens are much more money, and I'm sure you've got like a printing machine. They're all big money, aren't they, Lisa? But
because of our part-time arrangement, like literally at the moment, most of us are only on site for 5 hours a day. So if we doubled that, all we'd need is more production staff, and they are not the expensive ones. So we'd have the same cost for the premises, obviously double the production staff cost, and then more marketing. But, it's not that we need to then move to premises that cost 4 times as much. Like we have capacity where we are.
Yeah, and we always say this, Lisa, and I want to be with you on it. And this is you speaking like me for 20 years. Oh, when we doing this, but the stuff always ends up coming in.
Yeah.
Because you're the eternal optimist. That's what entrepreneurs are. If you've got, you are entrepreneurial, Lisa. You've gone, do you know what? I'm going to start my own thing with my mate Saskia. So anyone that's an entrepreneur is, if they even survive the first year, they have more optimism than most. It's just a fact. And I'm guilty of that. I'm the biggest optimist. And I think you need to be like that to keep going, because it's so flipping tough, and I just, but the reality is more cost always comes in as it gets bigger. Always does.
Yeah, no. And there will be stuff that we don't even see yet, but it's not ovens and machinery and we have all that. We're ready to go with that, because we moved into those premises and kitted it out, ready for growth. And now we just need to figure out how we get that, if it's PPC or getting a salesperson.
But I don't think you should get a salesperson. At this stage of the size of your business, you're the salesperson and Saskia is the salesperson. Going out there, knocking on doors and network marketing to the right people. One of your questions is, how can we get through to the right type of businesses willing to pay for a higher price for our premium product? Well, write a list down of who those 100 people are and then work out how to go and get them. JB, we talk on the podcast all the time that just 10 more good customers can change most businesses.
Yeah.
If you just had 10 more good customers, that would probably, that are ordering $3,000 a month from you, that, would be amazing, wouldn't it? That could, or 10 more that are spending $5,000 a month with you, that brings you in 600 grand a year. And actually, once you start thinking, well, I only need 10, I'll write down a list of who they are. And once we've identified who they are, where do they hang about? And then how can we get through to decision makers in the hotel industry? I still think there is a massive advantage of doing exhibitions. We do exhibitions 3 or 4 times a year. Decision makers go to those things and they go and see all their existing clients. And you want to make sure that you can speak at keynotes at any of those events so that you get more bang for your buck. If you are, anyone that's listening to this, if you're doing any exhibitions, you must keynote at them to get much better results.
Especially with what you're doing.
Biscuit printing machine.
Yeah, I've just having a look at it on the website now. It's so when we were talking about like what's a printer, they literally print biscuits live, take a photo, and print it.
I've seen these at
cool.
events. Yeah.
So that sort of thing, as a like I say, from a trade perspective, because the challenge with trade shows is generally like, how do you stand out from the crowd? But people will actually want to, rather than handing out a leaflet or a business card, people will want to take what you've got, which is an amazing opportunity, I guess, at trade shows. You know, how are you doing the data capture? What are you doing in terms of remarketing to those people? That's pretty like a couple of the key things that you need to be having a look at.
Yeah, Lisa, what salespeople in your business, and I wrote this in my newsletter, you know, you're not salespeople, you're consultants into the hotel industry. And I would do a keynote presentation called 10 Ways How to Make Your Customers Love You for Less than £1 each, and find out what are the annoying things that hoteliers hate and how can they get more TripAdvisor reviews. You know, this hotel done a little gift bag, blah, blah, blah. They've done a complimentary glass of this on arrival, good photos on your website, and say, and a little biscuit on arrival. And guess what? We make these, and I've got a free gift for everyone that's come and joined us at the keynote today. And if you've got 200 independent hoteliers in front of you, and they will get 200 biscuits after listening to you 45 minutes, they will see you as a consultant. And when you're a consultant, they will want to buy from you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Good sales is consultancy. All the best, you know, I think about all the financial institutions and the stockbrokers, but they are salespeople, but they're giving consultancy.
Yeah.
So therefore people can't wait to give you money. When you go and buy a Rolex or a Swiss watch, you know, it's almost like, well, we're not going to sell it to you. This one's going to be worth this much in 5 years. This one's been made by this engineer, and you know, in this year, like they're a consultant, and people want to buy from consultants.
Yeah, and solve their problems.
And once you're seen as a consultant, all the decision makers in the industry will want to deal with you. Your last question is, if we got a loan investment, what should we use it for? I mean, what do you need a loan and investment for? What's the pain that you need cash for?
I think what would help us both make this just, we feel like we're in a hamster wheel quite a lot, which you can appreciate, I'm sure, with the family and growing the business. So I think having people who replace some of the, you know, we're working in the business a lot still, not able to work on the business as much as we'd like to. So to replace those admin tasks that we do, or the marketing things we do. So it's people again, but people are expensive.
I had a bit of advice from a good friend of mine. I think you've probably told me this as well. Never, ever, ever take a loan or investment to pay for salaries.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It should be paying for stuff that has an intrinsic value, because obviously with the time that the staff member at the end of that month, then you have to go again.
And what happens as well, Lisa, if you took you know, 100K investment, you employ 2 or 3 people, that's like doubling your workforce, and you're not going to spend enough time with them. Just get one person, and do you know what?
Cash flow it yourself, bootstrap it.
Absolutely. And maybe the next person to employ is a full-time PA, not someone that works from home, someone that's next to you that can do all those boring tasks for you. You know, I think PAs are brilliant. You know, someone that can go and get your lunch, someone that can go and get your car clean so that you can, you know, spend more time on getting customers. Someone that can book your holiday or pay for this, pay for that, answer emails, manage your diary so that you can get all those minutes back to do higher value tasks. If you write down a list of all the tasks you and Saskia are doing, you think, my God, this is a PA could do all of this. You know, we would get an extra 2 days a week, which we could put on to get the next big customer.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point.
JB's absolutely, I mean, I was going to say that myself, but in a roundabout way, but
You got two of the key components of a great business here. You've got a great product, and you guys are clearly good marketers. I think you've got to spend more of your time being good marketers of your good product. And like I say, if you can outsource the doing of lower value tasks, it doesn't mean that it's low value to you, but it will be someone else's priority task, if that makes sense. Then you can spend more time in your zone of genius, because quite clearly from this website and social media and all the rest of it, you guys know what you're doing in terms of putting the brand out there and making it appealing. It's just about getting it in front of more people. But that's what you guys used to do as a job. You know how to do it. You just need the time to do it. That's probably the reality of it right now.
Yeah. And it feels like stop starting a lot because of, those everyday jobs and wearing all the hats. So yeah, no, that's.
But the sales and marketing is the last hat you give up. Get rid of everything else. Your job is to get customers.
Yeah.
But it's wonderful. I mean, that's it's very hard to build. I mean, what you've built, £250,000 in a few years is amazing. Hardly anyone does that. Let's be absolutely clear. This is,
especially with an ethos of flexible working around family, proactively standing by those morals. Like, that's really, really hard to do.
But having a successful business is like having multiple children. It's a lot harder work than having kids, and doing it. The only way that you can do it from afar is if you employ a nanny to bring up the children. Well, actually, you need to employ a manager,
business nanny,
to run the business for you. But they're probably not going to be as good as you. And that is the reality of it. It is about entrepreneurship plus management equals success. You've got to, I run lots of businesses, but I spend well over £1 million a year on bringing in brilliant people to manage my business. But it wasn't always like that. That's taken a long time to do that.
And you don't think doing it, let's call it part-time, just means it'll be slower? And then when the kids are a bit older?
Yeah, maybe. But you still got the business. If you want it to be successful and profitable, it is all consuming. But if you want it to be a swapping time for money thing, that's different. Like if you're as a hairdresser and you want to work part-time, but if you want to have a sort of a hands-off, it works while I'm asleep and all of that, that's not swapping time for money.
Yeah, every now and then we get an order, and it seems, at Christmas, we sometimes get an order of 30,000 biscuits with one order. And that makes us think there are these clients out there, we just need to find them. Because then we can manage that in the premises with a few more staff, and there's no more admin because it's one client.
Absolutely, but they are out there, but you've got to be full-time going out there and getting them.
Yeah.
Rather than just waiting for the occasional good order to come in. Listen, if you just go and study 100 female male entrepreneurs that have been super successful, you'll realise they are relentless in getting customers. And that's how they get them. That is their ultimate skill set. Whether it be Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Stelios, all of the Dragon's Dens, just relentless in their drive to get customers and bring revenue in. That is where they sit. You go and check Sarah Davis. I mean, my God. I mean, she's just a salesperson, isn't she? She's on every shopping channel. Do you know who Sarah Davis is? The Dragon's Den lady?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
I mean, she is the income generator of that business.
And do you know the lengths that she goes to in terms of wanting to still be a very, very present mother? She has a driver pick her up after they've gone to bed, and she drives overnight to go and do all this stuff because she's based up in Newcastle. She didn't want to move the family away from local family and all that sort of stuff. So the kids go to bed at like 8 o'clock. Her driver comes to pick her up at 9 o'clock and she sleeps in the car overnight if she's come back down to London. And then she'll go back the next day and she schedules it all around it. But she's also got an amazing team of people that are working full time in the business as well.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, Lisa, it's been amazing. Now, if people want to order your biscuits,
Which they should,
let's get you some business here. Where do they go, JB?
they go to the Biskery, biskery.com, and they can click onto branded biscuits, personalised biscuits, exhibition biscuits, or biscuits by post. You can go to the shop, the blog, the about section, all that kind of good stuff. They look and taste delicious.
And the branding's beautiful.
It is very nice. I had a because again, Lisa didn't make me a bespoke biscuit, which is fine. Lisa, don't even worry about it. I just had one of the generic ones, but it was delicious. The one that looked like a jammy dodger, but for IP protection reasons, wasn't a jammy dodger, but tasted a bit like one. But amazeballs, it was really, really good.
Cool. What's the shelf life on them, Lisa?
Tested shelf life is 10 weeks from baking.
And then you put them in a plastic thing to protect them.
Yeah, we use compostable, transparent bags and seal them, and then they're good for 10 weeks. Yeah.
And what's the average cost of me buying a biscuit from you?
It'll B2C, well, it's roughly the same, but it's around £3 a biscuit.
And that's with my logo on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is bloody profitable. That is very good. Well, you're amazing, Lisa. I really, really think you've got something here. You know, once you get over the £250,000 hill, which you've done, you can really take it further, but that's up to you. You're amazing. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for sending the biscuits in as well. They were delish. There you go. Lisa, all the way from the Biskery. I enjoy that very much. Very, very tasty. You got that look on your face. What's up with you?
Well,
you got that
I
one
don't know
where
if
you go
I've
like,
prescribed what she wants. You know, it's really difficult to be hokey cokey business owner. You know, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because
it is tough. And then you listen to what I find really interesting with entrepreneurs is that I suppose everyone does this in some format in life, but they justify their position. So it comes on the show to get some support. Here's some advice they don't want. Tells you that they don't need the advice they don't want because they're actually good with where they're at. And then further down the line, when you sort of poke a bit more, they're not satisfied with where they're at. You spin your narrative to suit your view on the world, don't you? Quite a lot of the time, but it is tough. Like I say,
she can have something really. Getting it over $250,000 is tough.
Yeah, especially like part time and focusing on it being part time and having that.
But the big thing that I'm glad we always talk about, it is so hard to find these managers, salespeople, marketeers that will grow a small business.
And I think so many people
think that's the answer.
Hang their hat on that this amazing person is going to walk in and for 24 grand a year, they're going to go and make you £1 million.
Yeah.
It's like rocking horse poo, isn't it?
Yeah.
It just don't exist.
No.
And like you said, there's amazing salespeople. Unless maybe you luck out and you get someone who's on this trajectory, they're just at the start of their journey, they're young, they're driven, they're amazing with people. Yes, you might get that. But again, that's the unicorn, the ones that are going to really go out there and do it. And I think you say...
Do you know what they're called? Entrepreneurs.
Yes. Yeah. So they've already got the bug for it
Or
themselves.
they're very entrepreneurial and they've gone, actually, I'll make £1 million working at Google and can do all this stuff for Google or Disney or...
I think one of the things that you talk about all the time, which I think is really interesting, is and so few people do it. It's really, I wonder why. I'll have to meditate on it. But they're so quick to offboard the sales and marketing.
Yeah.
I need sales, I need marketing.
Well, hopefully anyone that...
But you say the PA thing and you can, every time, it's just tumbleweed. No, it's it. And everyone, like you go, imagine someone who can help you with like booking your holidays.
But do you know what?
Get your car washed, and you can feel across the airwaves someone going, it feels a bit cringy for whatever reason.
I don't think it is cringy.
No, it's
I
not.
don't think they're thinking that. Well, I think they think, well, no, I can do that.
But like you said,
That's
it's
easy.
such a
I can
bad
do
use
it.
of your time.
It is.
If you can pay someone, and like you said in a previous episode, was it previous? No, it was this episode. The bookkeeping role, that's a 20 quid an hour task. If you are generally, as the operator of your business, let's say your time is worth 100, 200, 500 pounds an hour, whatever it may be. If you're doing 20 pounds an hour tasks, that is bloody stupid.
Yeah.
That is just bloody stupid.
There we go. Right. It's time to rate Lisa and Saskia.
Okay.
Well, we're doing just Lisa, yeah?
Yeah, the 8 traits of the grace. We can't bring Saskia into it. We haven't even met her yet.
I think Fred's found a lover.
Fred is absolutely having it off, isn't he?
Fred and Francesca.
Fred and Francesca, what a love story this is for the ages.
Okay.
Right, come on then. Give us the 8 traits of the grace.
Number 1, starting with the end in mind.
Half, I think.
Passionate about their cause.
Definitely.
Wow, 1, untold amounts of resilience. Half. We haven't been tested yet.
No.
Master relationships with people.
Half, we don't really know. We can't say no, but we can't say yes.
Oh, commercial awareness. Oh, I want to get.
Mate, give it a 0. You know it's the right thing to do.
They innovate so they don't evaporate.
Half.
They're master marketeers.
Well, they are, but they're not getting enough leads. So are they?
They're master corporate marketers because that's what they were doing before, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Doing marketing for big corporate stuff. But what you really got to learn when you're an entrepreneur is direct response marketing.
Yes.
You know, how to get people to action. So we're going to give half.
Give a little half. Go on then.
They stay teachable and curious.
Oh, she's that, I reckon.
Yeah.
Even though she didn't want the advice, but she'll take it.
2, I think she did 3, 4.5.
4.5.
Good score.
Not bad.
Good score. 4.5 out of 8 there for Lisa and the Biscuit.
And definitely, guys, honestly, go check it out, thebiscuit.com. It was absolutely delicious. Before we wrap up this beautiful little pod, I know what you're thinking. I'm going to skip off into get on with the rest of my day. No, friends. We've got one more thing because it is time for our latest section of the show, which is called Guess the Price or Number thing.
It's time for Guess the Price.
Yes, it is.
Which is definitely not pay your cards right.
Oh, no, it's not.
The people from the copyright department are listening. I'll say the name of this twice.
Here we go.
It's called Guess the Price. Yeah,
Guess the Price.
Which is most definitely not play your cards right. But,
Should we have the trophies in the middle, JB?
It's not that. It's not that at all.
Last week, no one won.
Put it just there.
But hopefully someone's going to win today. JB, last week you got a chance to read out, so it's my turn this
Your
time.
turn.
Those of you that are new to the
Rip
show,
it open.
we have a item inside this envelope that we have to guess.
Guess the price or the number
Guess
or the
the price or
metric.
number.
That jingle actually makes no sense at all.
Pardon, no. Well, so
No.
it will this time. How much money does Jeff Bezos make per second from Amazon?
Oh, this
Right,
is
bring
good.
the other Tracy here, because
The
one
other
of us
Tracy?
is going to win.
The other Tracy.
Okay,
So
so
your PA.
how much money does Jeff Bezos make per second from Amazon?
Oh, this is good. Jeff Bezos.
I'm going to write my number down because I feel like we cheat if we both say this at the same time. What are you working out here, JB? You're doing jingles? and everything?
No, I thought I'd the countdown jingle. I'm really annoyed. Oh, here you go.
Okay, I've got my number. So for viewers, how much money does Jeff Bezos make per second from Amazon? So I've got my number. Whoever's closest wins. I mean, we've got a busy schedule today, JB, so if we could do it this year. Per second.
Profit.
I reckon it's revenue.
Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah, what? Revenue's profit.
Okay.
What's your number?
$498 a second.
I said $300 a second.
Oh, okay. I love a quiz, mate.
Do you know the answer to this, Chuds? No idea.
I bet it makes just less than Chuds. Yes!
The answer is approximately $985 per second. That's from his share of Amazon's profit alone. He also owns an aerospace company called Blue Origin and the Washington Post newspaper. I didn't know he owned the Washington Post.
Yeah. I'm surprised they let that happen.
According to Forbes' real-time billionaire list, Bezos is the world's second richest person with $193.4 billion, beating Bernard Arnault and his family by nearly $20 billion at the time of recording. I do know that Bernard Arnault and Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk move around that top 3 position, depending on the time of the year. But JB, I have to say, you are the winner. You have this trophy.
The champion,
I am the loser. I will take the wooden spoon home, and I will see you on the next episode.
Yes, you will indeed. If you have enjoyed this episode, please feel free to leave a review. And maybe if you are on YouTube and you've got some advice, maybe you have got a bakery company, maybe you have got a beautifully boutique bespoke company, and you think, hey, I've got a great bit of advice for Lisa. Chuck your advice in the comments, because we know that our guests always read the comments that we've related to their episodes. So please feel free to dish your advice and give us a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcast as well.
That's it.
I think that's about it for all the housekeeping.
Thanks very much for listening and watching.
See you on the next one. Ta-da.
Thanks for watching today, gang. I hope you enjoyed the show. Now, look, we're looking for some great businesses to come on the podcast. If you've got challenges, but you're desperate to grow your business and you can't necessarily work out how to do it on your own, you'll be a perfect candidate to come here on the podcast. It's absolutely free to come on the show. Go to my website, jamessinclair.net, and there's a podcast button. Click on the podcast button, fill in the application form, and we'll do our very best to get you on the show and try and grow your business. If you're loving the podcast, make sure you subscribe to the channel by clicking here. And why not give this one a watch? I think you'll like it.